My name is Richard Brooking, and I'm a crime and justice system lived experience lawyer working in the public sector. I have to say, and it will confirm for you that I work in government, that I'm applying for this fellowship, doing this fellowship, and also talking to you in a private capacity. And everything I say or do does not evince an intention or opinion of my employer, the Queensland Government. Now, this is very, very important now because my topic is on youth justice youth or at-risk youth, and youth justice is very much a hot topic in the media now, especially politically. We've just had a change of government that could be attributed to, or at least influenced by, the adult time, adult crime slogan, the promise to increase sentencing for youth. Now, there's very much a vexed issue on whether that's going to work or not, but one thing that appears to me to be bipartisan is the promise of gold standard early intervention, and also the incoming government has promised $50 million to look at overseas programs. Now, my fellowship falls directly into that, and I'm hoping that this is the right time for it to make some change in Queensland, but we'll see. So quickly, a few sentences about myself. I spent over a decade and a half involved in drugs. I went to prison when I was 30. I got out. I spent the last 10 years desisting from crime, rehabilitating myself, educating myself, and I'm now an admitted lawyer working in the public sector. Now, that is quite a process to do that. There are so many lessons that need to be learned in order to go through that journey, and they're not ones that I feel that you can learn in university. Or university certainly helps, but the mindset changes you need, the lessons you need to learn for assistance is very complex. But there are people in Australia, quite a few people, who have done it now and have this knowledge. And a lot of them that I've spoken to want to do youth work, but we need more programming and funding in Australia to do that, to support these people. In the USA, they have this. The lived experience people are generally called credible messengers. Now, the idea of a credible messenger is using people from justice impact communities to help other people get out of crime, stay out of crime, youth intervention, family intervention. Now, it started in the 1960s, but it didn't really get traction until around the 2014-2016 mark, when government got a hold of these programs and they started funding them and seeing the promise of them. Now, there's been a few programs, they've been evaluated, and they've seen success. Now, academics, philanthropists, community groups, governments all around America are now looking at these programs, and they're very interested in them. Now, what they are is they use lived experience people, so people who have a shared lived experience with at-risk youth, to guide them through, sort of support and advocates to guide them through intensive programming. Now, intensive programming might be teaching about trauma, might be teaching about social justice, teaching about emotional regulation, CBT. Could be as simple as getting them the license, getting them into education, getting them a traineeship, engaging them with the community. So getting them to come to community events and allow these kids to see the community's view on them change if they participate in community. Now, I cannot stress how important this is to desistance. It's very hard to convey it if you haven't been through it. So I read these programs and I just fall in love with them. And I really think they're important, and Australia could learn a lot from them. And my goal is to go over there, see these programs, learn about how they're set up, learn about everything I can about them, get all the contacts I need, and then come back and hopefully that the Queensland or Australia is ready to look at something like this, especially with everything what's going on. So we'll see, but I'm interested to talk to anyone who is in government, anyone who is in philanthropy, anyone who's in community groups, anyone who's interested in lived experience in youth work, or anyone who's interested in this space. I'm interested to talk to you. I do need to do it in my own hours, but I'm happy to do that. Thanks for listening.